Welcome back to AKC Style, the place for figure skaters who want to learn how to skate their hearts out, compete at their highest potential, and spend as much time practicing their inner work as they spend physically training on the ice. Let's get started. So I haven't been moving at 100% for quite some time, and I feel pretty bad about it. And nobody else could probably understand that I haven't been moving at 100% unless like you're my mom maybe, but I know I haven't, and it's something that I've talked to friends about, and I've talked to my mom about it, and I've been trying to figure out why. Like, why do I feel like I'm not giving 100% when I am exhausted and I keep like, showing up for everyone and doing everything that everybody's asking of me and more. Like, I'm jumping through hoops sometimes, not intentionally, but it just happens for me lately that I'm jumping through hoops to like try to make sure that someone else is happy. And I've heard this thing said by some of my friends, especially about me, but also about themselves, that like they're like a recovering people pleaser. And I always kind of laughed it off, but like now that I've taken a moment to sit down and really think about how I feel like my tank is empty and I am exhausted and why. And I'm like, yeah, it's because I'm, jumping through hoops to help people because I'm pleasing them. I'm trying to make it so that they're not uncomfortable, even if it makes me uncomfortable. I'm making decisions in my life that every decision or every action that I take as a result of that decision drains me, let's say 5%. Now, I don't know what the difference between 5% and 10% is, so we're just going to go with 5% because like it's easier math, which you'll figure out why I'm saying that later. But if every decision I make in my life, from what time I wake up in the morning to like the first person I talk to in the day, to going to get my cup of coffee, to deciding like, do I check my email now, or do I kind of sit down and be intentional with like some of the things that I know I want to do for the day and maybe journal or meditate or something. And yes, I do meditate in the morning. It is a practice that I do have, and it has helped me a lot. It's not something that I've been doing every day, which is another part of why I feel like I'm draining myself and not able to give 100%. But I can talk about that on a different day. But every decision that I make from the moment that I wake up, and even like what time I'm going to go to sleep and what time I'm going to wake up in the morning, drains me 5%. So if I don't get a good night's sleep, I'm starting at an empty tank. So let's say I start at 25%, okay? So if I start my day at 25% because I didn't sleep well, or I went to bed too late, I didn't get my full like 7 or 8 hours of sleep like I know I need to get, or I just tossed and turned or something. I start my day at 25%. Now my alarm goes off, and I hate the sound of my alarm, which is why it's my alarm sound, because I will wake up. And just the sound of the alarm and having to hit either snooze or off takes 5% of my energy. I'm off at 20%. Okay. Now, by the time my second or third alarm goes off, I'm already more than halfway depleted with my battery. But let's say, I wake up, I start moving around, and I go get my coffee, and I'm waiting for that coffee to kick in. So technically I'm at like, let's just give myself 10% right now. I'm at 10%, and I'm waiting for that extra little boost of my coffee to kick in. And now let's say like, after my next half a cup of coffee, I'm feeling like a little bit better. So I'll put myself back at 20, even though it's usually more like 15. Let's just go with 15. We're at 15%. Okay. So I gained 5% with my cup and a half of coffee. Good for me. So now I'm at 15%. How am I supposed to make it through the rest of my day if I feel like my like metaphorical personal battery is at 15%? I haven't even left my house, okay? I haven't even left my house for the day, let alone gotten dressed. And then that's a whole nother decision because I have to figure out what I'm going to wear. How am I supposed to make it on 15%? So when I actually sat down and I kind of did this little exercise of pretending like my life is a battery, it put a lot of things into perspective for me. Because I'm like, if I don't even start my day at 100%, how is the rest of my day going to go? Let alone the next day or the day after that or the week. And then like, if I have one really bad week, is the following week going to be better just because it's a new week? Like, no, I'm going to feel really bad about myself because of the previous week and however I'm feeling from lack of sleep or not having good interactions with people because I'm in a terrible mood and, you know, nobody really wants to talk to me and I don't really want to talk to them, or, you know, just all the things. It's just this horrible feeling of like always feeling like you're burnt out and you're like drained. And nobody should have to live like that, but we all do it. Like, I'm sure that me talking about this like metaphorical battery is something you can relate to as well, because you probably have something similar. And when I actually focused on what that looks like for me, like how is my day, how do I want to end my day, then it helps me figure out decisions that I can make throughout the day to help me stay as close as possible to 100%. So I started doing that, and I created a real routine for myself where I would go to sleep at a certain time every night, wake up the same time every morning. I still don't like the sound of my alarm. I still hit snooze a million times and it takes me forever to wake up. But I wake up early enough. I start that process early enough after getting a really good night's sleep, because I go to sleep giving myself at least 7 hours every night, where it's not going to bother and deplete me like it was before. So that set me up right away. That was something that was like a quick action that helped me later on in the day. And because I'm a figure skating coach, I usually am at the rink and needing to work with like small children, adults, interact with people, have a lot of moments of overstimulation in a short amount of time in the afternoon. So if I wake up at, let's say, 6:30 in the morning, and then by noon I'm like done for, I'm down for the count, how am I gonna be when I get to the rink? Like, that was an eye-opener for me. I was like, by the time I get to the rink normally, before I started doing this routine and like really taking note and all the things that I was doing, I'm like, okay, by the time I get to the rink, I'm at like barely 60%, right? Because I had gone through periods throughout the day prior to getting to the rink to coach where I would like fluctuate between 75 and like, let's say like 89%. Like, yeah, I could say 90 because what's the difference? But like, I just like saying, okay, 89% because 90% is like almost I've reached full capacity and I'm at really good energy levels. 89 is like, I'm almost there, but I could easily go down. So let's just say I fluctuate between 75 and 89%, which isn't bad, except that then I have to drive to the rink. I have to wrap up all my stuff at work, like, you know, that I would normally do during the day. And now I'm like racing and to try to beat traffic to get to the rink. And then the traffic depletes me. So by the time I get to the rink, I'm barely at 60%, let's say. Maybe that's being dramatic, but like, let's just give you a visual. If you look at like your battery on your phone, I'm at 60% by the time I get to the rink. So now we're at overstimulation. We're at a cold rink where I have to layer up. So even if it's really nice outside, it's cold inside the rink. And I have like a million people coming at me, asking me questions, wanting to talk to me. And, you know, I have to stay focused on who I'm coaching, whether it's for a private lesson or for a group. I have to figure out like what my lesson plan will be for the day and like be able to communicate that properly with skaters across all levels. And then when class is over, even if it's only for, you know, an hour or an hour and a half, I'm back at 25%. And I still have to drive home and make dinner and eat and then go to sleep. Like, it's just not sustainable. So what I started to do was really figure out like how I could keep that battery at 100% or as close to 100% as it possibly could. And one of the easiest ways for me to do this was to go to bed earlier. That seems super obvious, I know, but it's something that I think like you can probably relate to. I didn't do as often as I should have. There'd be many times where I'd go to sleep after midnight and have to wake up at 6. Like, that's not enough sleep. And yeah, that's maybe 6 hours, but when you go to bed at midnight, you're not actually falling asleep at midnight. You might, but probably not. You'll probably actually get into a deep sleep by like 1 a.m. So you just shortchange yourself an hour. So I started to actually do things throughout the day that would make me tired, so I would want to go to bed. And that changed everything. And one of the things that really helped with this and getting me to sleep was skating. I'd wake up early enough because I had to prepare and make sure I'm ready for the day so I can go skating in the morning to public skating session and skate for at least an hour, maybe more, and still get done all the things I needed to get done after the session and get to the rink. Then by the time I'm done with my coaching and I get home and I eat, I'm exhausted because I've just had a long day and I've been up for more than 12 hours at that point. And I'm so tired that I can't wait to go to bed. And then it makes me go to bed earlier. So just that one little change of like thinking about my life and my energy as like an actual battery and being able to figure out like what's depleting my battery and what's, charging it up helped me so much. And going to bed on time and getting up earlier helped a lot, but then also like doing things throughout the day that helped me stay motivated and stay active and like actually drain my battery, like, in terms of the number, it would go down because I'm using my energy for skating and errands and things like that. But the skating is also simultaneously boosting my energy. So in the moment, I feel like ready to go and moving, but by the end of the day, my body's feeling a little achy, my muscles are tired, and it's time to rest. So one thing that you can try to do is like figure out how you can create a routine for yourself and incorporate, even if you're not skating, like incorporate some sort of activity that can help your body move and get tired, but also simultaneously energize you, like skating.
Thanks so much for listening today. If you found this episode helpful, let me know in the comments, and be sure to give this video a big thumbs up. This helps other figure skaters discover my channel and also helps me decide what topics I should share with you next. Have fun out there, and I'll see you at the rink.